Hello and welcome to the Restructured Health Services channel. I'm Carlos, an LMT, licensed massage therapist, structural integrator, and acupuncturist. So in this channel, there's lots of different things, but hope to answer some questions, some of the common things that I usually hear from different clients, patients. Um, this particular video series, we're going to be covering structural integration. So in the last video, I kind of went over what is structural integration, why is it different than general massage, and how can it help, and how is it different. And to review, it is a series of sessions compared to going to see a practitioner for one particular issue. We're looking at a holistic approach, breaking down the body over a series. Again, it just depends on which format or style or brand the practitioner you're seeing went through. Each one's going to be a little bit different, but the general overview of the whole series is going to involve the basic structure of the 10 session series from Rolfing, the Guild of Structural Integration. So each session is already predetermined, and so this video we're going to be discussing session 1. So session 1 is kind of the introduction to the series, and at least from the history that I have been taught, it was originally not the original session. So session 2, which we will discuss in the next video, was apparently the original session 1. And what I've understood is people who went through the series, they would get kind of stuck. The work wouldn't take. So originally in the beginning, they added this introductory session that tends to work on the breath. So session 1 is almost a full body session. What is covered generally is working from the knee all the way up, and generally this is done, at least in Soma, the one that I was trained in, on the side. So the big goal again is to open up the breath with work through the diaphragm and all the surrounding structures. And like I said, this is almost a full body session. Almost everything from the knee up is worked on, and with the end goal getting things moving. So after this session, the person should be able to expand their breath. Everything around the rib cage is starting to get released. As we work through the series, everything kind of comes back and forth. We go to other structures, we review other structures, but in this session, the diaphragm and all the connecting structures start to get assessed, worked on. So there's a lot of work in through the rib cage, and hopefully after this session is over, the person's able to breathe. At least in my training, we go over the different types of breathing, and how to expand that breath, how to get as much out of the rib cage as possible. I have added some functional range systems, looking at the actual diaphragm as a muscle and different strategies to use that. And I tend to use my table time as much as possible to get as much table time to actually work on the patient's body. So I have filmed different videos, different companions, mobility work or homework for the clients who come and see me to work on. And this session, that would revolve around different exercises, different functional range conditioning exercises for the breath. So those are involving starting to work with the diaphragm and things and ways to work on the breath and those muscles of the breath. So after this session, they should have more access. But one of the ongoing things, especially with the way I work through the series, is it's not just what's done on the table, but if people leave and they just go back to their normal life and don't do the homework, don't do the extra work, you're probably not going to see as much progress. You'll get something out of it, especially depending on how bad things are, but it is important to work as a team with your provider. So if you are starting structural integration, whether that be Rolfing, Hellwork, Soma, and all the different various kind of brands, be sure to listen to the exercises that they're giving you. And for me in particular, my goal is for people who are going through this series to have the tools necessary so that they're able to take care of themselves. I, for one, don't get a lot of body work, and I have maintained that you can get a lot of this stuff done by yourself, working on shit, but it takes consistency, it takes practice, it takes being mindful of what is going on. So hopefully that gives you a little insight into what is going on with this particular session. In the next video, we're going to be discussing session 2, so stick around for that. Always, and as well as make sure to check out some of the previews from my personal structural integration journey. So each session, like I said, for people who come and see me, they get kind of a homework session that I tend to just not have time to fully cover things as much as I would want to. So they give access, I give them access to a video that's usually 20 to 30 minutes, and then there's another kind of homework, like a session, if they wanted to try out kind of like a mobility session that goes along with each companion. But check out the preview on the channel as well for session 1. Again, the main goal is opening up the breath, starting the journey, but also for people who haven't been through the series, it also gives them an idea of how the work is. One of the things for the series, it's different type of work, especially the way I do things. It's not your general Swedish style massage where there's a lot of rubbing and pet massage, Swedish things. We're actually working out things, and it's not for everyone. And so we usually give people, one of the things they told me at my school was, try the first 3 sessions, see how it works for you. If it's the right fit, it might be the provider, it might be the work itself, but try the first 3, see how it goes, and then see if you want to continue on through the series. Because after that, it gets a little bit more in depth, both in what the work is doing, but the depth into the tissue itself. So hopefully that gives you some insight, and stay tuned for more future videos.